Hey everyone, everybody always asks the question, what happened to the ditch witch? Well, the ditch witch is a model R200, which they only made about 40 of, which you're going to be seeing here in this next picture. And simply put, I never finished the project because before we got it done, we were using it in testing, and the engine swallowed the supercharger bearings. It's a 6V53 Detroit engine. It produced 200 horsepower, but it's not worth putting money into an overhaul kit or even continuing with the project. The backhoe unit on that ditch witch is off of a 580M Series 2 case backhoe. Yes, it's a case. It'll be the last case item I probably ever own, at least construction-wise. And that backhoe is a great backhoe. Works great. It is going to get removed off of this winter and cleaned up, and I'm gonna make it so I can attach it to a farm tractor, like a 2-point mount of some sort. You guys listen to follow along for that. But we need a backhoe around the farm, so I'm gonna utilize what I got. The ditch witch had 67 by 34 by 25 tires on it, which are now a Flow Grip 850, I believe, still made, but they're a little different size abbreviation. The tires are good on it. Those will probably get utilized on a project going elsewhere. And I'll take the blade off. Pretty much everything else is going to be cut into pieces and hauled off for scrap iron. That needs to be done this winter. I'm tired of looking at it. You guys will have to stay tuned for the video series where I tear that backhoe down and what I end up doing with all the parts and pieces of that ditch witch. As I said, most of it will go to scrap. For around our farm, we need a backhoe, and we have the dozer. But we need a backhoe to fix tile lines and little things, water lines, all sorts of stuff you're always digging. And I don't want to go out and spend a lot of money on a backhoe, although I would look at like a tractor unit backhoe if it was the right price. So I haven't found anything though. It's a 580M backhoe. It came off a tractor that had been laid over. The backhoe tractor was good. It was the cab and the hood and everything else that got smashed. I think the engine was running when it rolled over, so they totaled the unit. Bought that off a farmland tractor out of Oregon of all places, and they shipped it out here pretty cheap. That's back when you could buy stuff really cheap. So I have a total of $6,000 in that backhoe unit. They just cut the frame off, added the axles, what they did. Anyway, good unit, and that will be something I can use on a farm tractor. We're going to make a hitching system, and you got to be careful how you make those. Otherwise, they tend to ride up off the tractors. You guys will just have to stay tuned for that video. I'm going to move this dozer across the road, and hopefully nobody's coming here. Up one ditch bank, down the other. Easy. Didn't need to scuff it up. And there's another look at it out the dozer window right here as I am tracking down this field, ready to go into the back portion of our farm. I got all these tile roll centers, as well as some new rails there for the 2050M, obviously no longer needed. There's a stick for a 345B excavator, no longer needed. I need to get this stuff sold and cleaned up, guys. I've been giving away the tile roll centers. There's a bed there for a 5-ton truck project, also needs to be gone. You can't hardly cut those beds. They have a sheet of steel, plywood in the middle, and another sheet of steel. And it makes cutting them in half almost impossible. I still have some tile stuff there. So for our farm, the main things that I need on our farm are a dozer, an excavator, a tile machine, and a backhoe. That's pretty much it. I can do anything we need to do on our farm with those items. And out of that list, I hate to say it, but the excavator is probably at the bottom of the list. I had a PT-18 trencher, if you guys follow my main channel, but it was one I bought with intentions of fully rebuilding. I actually sold it for a couple more dollars than I paid for it, just because I didn't feel like dumping another 10 to 15 grand in it. I still have the A-stringer trailer, and you can run what they call maxi spoolers on there, so you can run multiple sizes on one trailer. And I did find a pretty nice PT-18, so there's a chance I may buy that or buy something similar and just do our own spot tile jobs going forward. Not sure yet, but that may be coming. As far as the rest of that inventory up there, I got to get the rest of that stuff cleaned up. I absolutely hate looking at it. I feel like it's an eyesore, and I want to get all that stuff cleaned up, wiped out, and focus on what we actually need around our operation. And we just got the dozer fueled up right there. That's an Alice Chalmers 314 scraper made by La Plot Choate. That scraper was a cable scraper. It's a scraper I bought on a Purple Wave auction years ago, and we were going to convert it to a hydraulic and never completed it. We did all the hard work, which was removing all the cable shivs and the crap from it that's hard to cut off and nasty. But the next step would be to sandblast it, and the only bid I had was one bid of $7,000 to sandblast. It's right about $7,000. You just can't find a sandblasters anymore. But I thought $7,000 was pretty ridiculous, so it sat there. I was going to sell a scraper, had a guy that was going to buy it, and he kept finding reasons to never show up. And typical story when you sell stuff, all you get's a flaky audience. I mean, you sell old stuff like that, I swear you end up with the biggest list of dreamers you ever met in your life. But anyway, the guy flaked out, then another guy was interested, and he flaked out. And I find just, after about the fourth guy, I find just said, screw it. I took the ad down. I said, I'm either going to cut it up for scrap, or I'm going to fix it myself. Now that we're doing our work on the farm again, if I can find a sandblast bid that's half-ass reasonable, and I do have some of the cylinders for it too, but I should get it done. This dozer does have the auxiliary hydraulic. It's got the extended drawbar in the rear, so it would mate up well with that scraper. 18 yard, I believe, 20 or 21 heaved, so it would handle it. And there are places I could use it. Well, right down here we have flags set, everything's surveyed out, ready for terrace and tiling operations. And hopefully our tile crew shows up soon. I know he's having some staffing issues, but I also know that he has a little bit of a history of flaking on people, so oh boy, I hope he shows. If not, I'm gonna have to either look at doing something myself or get somebody else. I mean, I know how to do it right. There's just some people I wouldn't trust doing it. So, me as a one-man band is timing. Timing's the biggest problem I have with all these projects. And as you guys can tell, I've had a pretty good list of projects around the farm to do. And as you get older, you realize that you have less and less time for all these projects. So you gotta live in reality. And the reality of it is that I need to be able to tackle what I can tackle and get done what I can get done, and anything I willingly know that I won't be getting done, such as possibly that scraper. And I know I'd never finish that ditch, which time to meet the cutting torch will be done with them. Our operation cleaned up and looking nice around there, and I need to be able to focus on the field. Like these projects we're doing here at the excavation, these are projects that have been needing to be done, and they're things that we're doing them. We're doing them now. So put our time and efforts, resources where they need to be placed. And the rest of that stuff is, it's so easy in your 20s to get more motivation, and you got time to get things completed. Gets this wall of dirt. See that shit? That's a freaking field driveway. That's how much dirt they've taken out of there. Let's see if we can even get up in there. Go up to the local county department for that. Jesus. Yeah, that was a smooth, nice driveway, and they've just atrociously cut the road up. And they just keep getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And yet the county assessor truck goes around out here in the county looking to see how many dollars I can find, as they're broke right now. And like everybody's behind, they haven't collected enough tax, and plus the tax valuations are down from a few years ago because because they followed commodities for a few years prior. Oh boy. And one of those idiot trolls left me a message that says, I shouldn't complain about the roads, and if I do, I should run for the county supervisor. Well, getting a county supervisor really isn't even that easy of a position to get. It's very political to get in there. But luckily we did get a kid in there that does seem to be knowing what's going on. He's new to it, and he is starting to make a splash, which is helping. But as far as complaining about the roads, that's just a shitty operator not doing their job. It's not the county supervisor's position to go out there and micromanage and maintain and tell the operator how to run something. You know, it's the county engineer, and the supervisors are in charge of the county engineer. But what's their option? Fire him and get one just as bad? You know, the last 3 here, we've actually had the best engineer we've had in a long time, despite the fact it still sucks. Maybe the whole problem is just the fact it's government related, not private business, because if it was private business, I'll guarantee you it would have already been broke by now. Personally, I couldn't wake up and look myself in the mirror every day. I'd be disgraced at what kind of a crappy job they are doing. They could do better. That's all there is to it. They could do better. But nobody seems to give a damn. Baffles me. Lack of pride. Severe lack of pride. Same person probably drives an electric car because they think somehow magically electric rides smoother. Or maybe they bought a cleaner. What we're doing out here in the field right now, I've worked this farm into some grid areas, and we are getting soil samples. We do our own grid work, and you can even download an app from Ag PhD to do that work yourself, and it saves money over hiring somebody. On this field here, we'll do a 5-acre grid and send it in, but we should have done soil samples earlier this fall. Just the way falls went, I don't know, I feel like I'm always behind a little bit this fall, but we got good weather, so I'm doing our old soil samples. We'll get these sent in, and we'll run our dual placement machine, which needs a couple of repairs. You guys will have to watch for it this winter coming up. We'll send them in, we'll get our dual placer fixed up and ready to roll for spring. And either late winter or spring, just depends on the weather, what kind of winter we get, is when we'll apply our fertilizer. We gotta know what we're needing to apply. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway because we didn't pre-book our anhydrous. We should have pre-booked that anhydrous. A lot of other guys were doing that, but we should have pre-booked that anhydrous because I don't think they'll even sell it to you right now. And yes, this truck does have 245,000 miles on it. Original 454. What we do on our farm may not work on everybody else's farm, and vice versa. There's a lot of things that change depending on the location. But what we do for our farm seems to work for our farm. And we are always evolving at the same time. So where you see something today, we may learn from it. We may change from it. What? Temps are dropping quick. And since the temps are dropping, we're going to finish up the soil samples when the wind dies down. It's about 45 mile an hour out there right now. Get the soil sample bag out and it blows away. Anyway, I'm going to finish my day running the dozer. Thanks for watching.